Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today's block is going to be called a double monkey wrench. Not going to be called. Today's block is called a double monkey wrench. Here is the white version. I like it. Let's see how the black comes together. So for this you're going to need out of your white / black, whatever, it's fabric A, you're going to need one 4.5-inch square and two 5-inch squares. We're going to lay those up there. Then out of B, you're going to need 4 2.5 by 4.5-inch strips. And then C, you're going to need also 4 2.5-inch strips by 4.5 inches. And then you're going to need two 5-inch squares. So I'm going to do this a little different. I need to streamline it, make it more efficient for me. From now on, at the end of the videos, I'm just going to have the block and my little card that has the measurements on it. If I can go back later on, I can add them to the description. But for now, I have to do it that way because I have to make all the aspects of my life mesh. And that's what I have to do right now. It streamlines it a little bit for me. So just wanted to put that out there. The measurements won't be listed in the description, but they will be at the end of the video, next to the block. So we're going to go ahead and get started. For this, you're going to first sew these, your strips, you're going to sew them just into strip sets. Pretty simple. Just going to fold this over. I wouldn't have to because I know I'm sewing the long side and it doesn't really matter which one. But I'm just going to pop a pin in it anyway, because why not? And now since we're going to the sewing machine anyway, we're going to lay those to the side. I already have it done. You're going to turn these two into half square triangles, which I also already did one set of them. Again, we're streamlining things. So now you're just going to lay this here. Now with this being black fabric and it's dark on the other side too, I'm going to do it a slightly different way. Well, I think I did it maybe in the last video. Not really sure. So we're just going to lay this corner to corner. I'm going to slice it right down from the corner to corner. Now, when I sew these, since I did cut it based on the measurements from the book, I'm going to use a scant 1/4-inch seam on it, rather than the regular 1/4-inch. I find that works a little better. The other one works, but it doesn't give me much room to work with. So I'm also not going to pin these. I'm right here. My sewing machine's literally right here. So I'm just going to grab them. I'm going to sew the other strip down through, and I'm just going to grab these as we're over there. So let's go on over. And we're going to sew this down first. Got loopy in there. I had to grab another small scrap. And we're just going to grab one. Keep it as lined up as best as possible. And then we're just going to do, like I said, a scant 1/4-inch seam. Since I didn't pin it, I'm just going to adjust it there. That one came loose. We're just going to line it up without stretching it, disorienting it. Line it back up. Get this open or off. Let's head back over. We're going to iron these open, and I think I've been ironing it to the red hearts side just because Well, just because. Then we'll trim these to 4.5 inches because that's the size of our other black square, which is the middle, which is how you know how big each block should be. No, I did iron this to the other side. Not that it matters, but I like them to be uniformed, we'll call it. All right, let's move this. We're going to trim these up. So we're going to take our little square, line up the diagonal line there, this one here, corner to corner, making sure the 4.5 has extra all the way around it. You want to have enough to trim off when we flip it. And now we're going to line up the diagonal again, and our 4.5 inch point should be right on it, and we're going to trim that off. And there we have 3. Let's get 4. Same thing, line up the diagonal. Just didn't catch it. Just a little thread. All right. Now, same thing, diagonal, 4.5 inch point, and that should, if you got both those, it lines up both down through here and the bottom. Let's trim that off. Let's get this out of the way. Now I'm gonna make sure these are 4.5 inches also. So I'm gonna line up the 2.5 inch line there. No, I'm sorry, the 2.25 inch. And see, it is, the red piece is a little too big. So what I've done is when I was cutting it, I guess I just didn't pay attention. So we just need to cut off a little here. And if we do this now, our blocks will line up a lot better than at the end. A lot of things could have caused this. I could have cut it wrong. I probably didn't iron this before I cut it. I really couldn't tell you. I don't remember. I cut them all the fabrics for these blocks in over 2 days. So maybe I was getting tired by the end of it, but that's okay because I knew I could trim it up. As long as they're not too small, I can make it work. Sorry I didn't have these done already because actually I don't usually do this part, so I thought I'll do it on camera. This one, was there some up there? I think there's some up there too. No, maybe not. All right. This one, there is a little over there. And one more. And then we just have to lay it out and sew it up. And we're done. Yet another block. And then I think we're halfway. This is our 6th block, right? I think. I don't really remember. But I think it is. So we'll be halfway done. 1 or 2, depending on if you're making both like I am or not. So now, we're going to lay these out. And our black squares, or our black square is going to touch our black triangles at the corners. Where's my other one? There it is. Then we're going to take our other pieces and we're going to make this touch the black also. So this will look kind of like that. It's going to be opposite. And our little plaid will be on the outside. And honestly, I think I like the white one better in this. But we'll see. Let's get it together. So we're just going to sew our blocks into rows. So these two, these two, these two. And then I'm just going to, from the sewing machine, come back and grab the other one, and then when we have our rows together, we'll come back over and iron it and pin it again. Or, yeah, pin the rows together. So let's get this sewn. I'm just gonna do a 1/4 inch. I always use a 1/4 inch except for when I just did it there on those half square triangles. I didn't do it then. But that was the first time I didn't. And it worked out well for me. So maybe. Grab our first one. Cut this thing off. Now you're going to make sure you sew the next half square triangle to your middle block, which is your, we'll call it bricks, your two rectangles. Get our next one, and our middle on this one is the solid black. We're going to make sure the red hearts go next to it. And then our last row. And again, we're going to sew our half square triangle to the stripe block, the bricks. I don't know if you call it bricks if it's straight or if it's just offset a little. I don't even know if that's what you call it. You might not even know what I'm talking about. Alright, let's go iron it open. We're going to iron the top and the bottom to the outside and the middle to the inside. But you can do it however you want. Even had, so I've used 4 fat quarter bundles on this with some extras left over to make a couple pillows, which I'll probably post that too. But I do have another bundle, so I'm probably gonna attempt to cut it up and make binding. I've never done that before, but I like to try new things, so we're just folding it down and pinning it here to sew this row together. So I don't know how it's going to go. I also might, I don't know if I'll hand quilt or hand attach the binding or try to do it on a machine. I don't know. We'll see. But I do have the pillows I want to add to this ensemble. Oh, look at that. What a shame. Nobody's going to see it. It'll be all right. We're just going to attach the bottom too while we're here, so then I can just flip it around and sew it while I'm over there. Line up our seams and the end and the beginning. And since we trimmed and we're using a 1/4 inch seam all the way, it fits perfectly. Now I'm just going to hold this one. We're going to go over and sew it up. If I was sewing more or pinning more, I would have pinned it and moved on, but I wasn't, so. Let's get this round. I actually think what I'm going to do is that the pillows, I think I'm going to get those pieces out and pin and ready to go and use those as my starters and enders. So you'll see pieces of it maybe before the video actually is made. But I think it'll be more productive. Which, who doesn't like to be productive? All right. Let's get her off there. Let's go see what we've got. I'm just going to iron it open to the top and bottom. Oh, I like it. All right, there it is. It's called Double Monkey Wrench. The white one and the black one and the white one. So if you laid them together, it would kind of look like that, which would make a really nice quilt. If you alternated black and white. I like it. Ideas, people. So where's my little card? So there's my little card. I'll try to do it neater next time, but these were already written. So A is the black or the white, and you needed 1 4.5 inch square and 2 5-inch squares. B is my plaid, and you needed 4 2.5 inch rectangles, or I'm sorry, 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch rectangles. And then C is the hearts on this one, and you needed 4 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles and 2 5-inch squares. So I think that's been on the screen if you wanted to screenshot it or whatever, but I hope that helps. I hope it works well with you all. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but such is life. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you make it and love it, and I will see you all next time. Have a great day.